Whoa. Big boy. When you're faced with absolute snag pit pegs like we're confronted with today, it can be a little bit daunting and off-putting. But today in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to do when you draw these pegs that are full of snags, full of lilies. I'm going to show you the specialist kind of kit you're going to use, where to fish, how to play them to get them out of the snags, and hopefully come the end of the session we can end up with a couple of nice big carp and give you a little bit of confidence in these kinds of pegs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly plumb up down the edge. There's a big lily bed to my left here, another big one to my right. But what we're going to do, we're going to fish in the edge, in between the gap and the bank and the pad. So it's going to be a bit of hit and hold tactics, but with the right kit, I'm sure we'll get more than our fair share out. So time's getting on, let's get on with it. So like I said, the kit is a little bit specialist for this kind of fishing. So I'll start off with the pole. What I've gone for an 8 metre. We're not fishing far, we're not even fishing, we're probably fishing 6 metres. This is just an A-class 8 metre margin pole, super strong. And what's nice, if you're on a budget, it's only 150 quid, so this kind of fishing, you'll go through a lot of punishment. You don't want to be using your top of the range 60 metre pole for this kind of fishing, dragging them out of pads, big fish. So that's why I've gone for that. What's nice with it, it's super stiff, super strong, and you can put a lot of punishment. When you hook them down the edge to these pads, I like to get the pole right up high, get above the fish, your pole will be bent double. So for this, I'll leave the Aventus in the bag and the A-class margin pole can get a workout. And top kit wise, something a little bit different to the norm. What I've done, I've got a short kit, that's a 1-piece short kit. These will be out very soon. It's got a big thick old bow on one end, I've got a roller puller in there, and I've got red hydro in this. Now, what I don't want is a long kit, strike, and loads of elastic come out. I want to be able to bottom the elastic out quite quickly to get the pressure on to work them out of the pads. So that's the reason for the short kit and the red hydro. Mainline wise, super strong, that's 0.25 end gauge on there. Obviously it's going to be like rubbing up against pads and stuff, you just don't want anything to let you down. Float wise, gone for a nice 0.4 JL, nice and strong, nice long thick tip on it for fishing, like 2 or 3 pieces of corn or 2 worms or whatever you want to fish on the hook. And then the rig is super simple, you know, there's no finesse to this kind of thing. So at 0.25 down, I've just got a bulk there, 6 number 8 cubes on my loop to loop, 4-inch hook length of 0.23, super natural that is. And what I've done, I've finished the rig off with an extra strong eyed tied up knotless knot, so there's no chance of that thick line slipping off the spade or the knot slipping. That knot is bedded down there and it can't slip. So that's the kit. Very strong, but it definitely serves a purpose on these kind of pegs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to feed some ground bait down the edge. Might take a little while before they come in there because it's only, what have we got there, 18 inches, but I feel confident that with the cover of those lilies over them and the time of day, they're going to start coming in. So let's get the initial feed in, and then hopefully we can pan back when I'm latched up into a big old sow. So because the edges are quite shallow on this peg, what I've decided on is I'm going to go with ground bait down the edge to feed, and then I'm going to fish like worms and corn over the top of it. So what I've gone for, my favourite old Green Supreme, and what I fancy, I'm going to put some of this big river barbel in as well. Super high fish meal, high oil, big pieces, like a specimen mix. There's some lovely big carp in this lake and they tend to live in this bowl. So I'm going to give them what they want, which is going to be a pile of ground bait down their edge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go a full bag of green. Normally I like to measure my mixes out, but I'm not too worried to be honest for this kind of fishing. I'll go half a bag of that, and that is absolutely full of crushed pellet and stuff. It smells amazing if you're a carp. And I'm going to put an absolute boatload of water in with that. I'm going to sort of porridge it up, if you like. So this will be like absolute soup by the time I've finished, giving it the initial mix. Because there's lots of like crushed pellets and stuff in the mix, they will absorb loads of water. So I'm going to mix it to that consistency to start. Slop basically. I'll let that sit now for probably 15 minutes. Come back to it. I'm going to put some shots on some rigs. I'll come back to this. It'll be perfect. Chuck it through a riddle and then we can start big potting it in the edge. So let's get going. A bit of time has passed now, and I'm going to come back and put this ground bait through a riddle because it is an absolute cake mix there. What's nice, I've got these new guru riddles, got 3 different size meshes, so what I'll do, I'll bang them out, and one of them, this one here, has got like, what mil is that one? That's a 6mm one that, so we got 3, 4 and 6, but I'm not too worried about it being fine for down the edge. What I want to do is just break up that kind of cake mix. So look at that, it's that sticky with that stuff in there. So just break that up in the bucket, chuck it on the riddle. It's really sticky, but that's how I want it for down this edge here. And what's nice with this big mesh, it's not taking me hours to get it through because how sticky it is. I'm not too worried about it, you know, being light and fluffy and fine. This is just getting hammered in the edge, and I think the stickier the better down here. So that's absolutely whizzed through that big sieve. Cheers. And that's what we're finished up with. Look at that. That is absolutely perfect for the edge. So I'm going to mix some corn in with that on the side tray. And then we should be getting ready to catch a few. Right, so there's our margin mix. Green with a few yellow specks. What self-respecting carp can resist that? So same old principle. Fill your pot up and then just press it in gently. Sand castle it in, as the term tends to be these days. And I'm just going to go down. I'm not going to feed it super tight. I want to feed it probably going to be like 2.5 foot off the bank. It's nice and flat there, but I don't want them crawling up the grass for it, so I'll put that going in there. That is absolutely perfect, that is. One more, I'm going to give them 2 or 3 to start. Try and pull some fish in. The wind is starting to come in here now, which is absolutely perfect. And there's some real big fish in this lake. In the recent festival, the biggest fish at the festival was caught in this lake. It was just under 22 pounds, so there's plenty of like nice big doubles and stuff in here. So that is our initial feed in. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to drop straight in on it. I'm just going to give it 15-20 minutes, keep an eye, see if I see any signs. If there's a big carp, I should be able to see him. It's only shallow water. The little pads are knocking there ready. So I'm just going to have 5 minutes here, chill out, and then I'll flick the cameras back on when we're going to go in for our first drop. Right, so we've got some fish in the peg. The pads are moving there. And I've seen a swirl. And a big cloud of mud has just come up. So what I'm going to do to start, I'm not going to feed any. I'm not going to put a pot or nothing on. I'm just going to go straight in. Double corn. So I'm going to slide the first piece up the line. Nice 2 big kernels. Got a nice big hook on to hold them on. And then slide that back down. And there we are. That's our okay. Absolutely stuffed in it down there. Like nobody's business. So let's see what happens. Hopefully they're carp and not getting skimmers. The rig in position. And what's nice, because I've got that longer lash on there, on my back shot I can just rest my pole on the bank. So because it's quite shallow, so I haven't got the pole over their heads. And I'll just pin that float right in position. So straight away I've got my pole right up in the air, you can see there. I'm just almost like walking him through the pads, just want to keep above him. He's still in there. Come on, don't you come. And he's out. Now that's one of the biggest things when you're fishing, like in pads especially. You see a lot of the time, got to watch him, he's going in these pads. When you see the carp anglers, when they get snagged up, what they tend to do in the boat, they'll get right above the fish and then almost just handline it, just keeping the pressure on it, and that's how you get them out. Like, you know, you wouldn't want to like strike and then just pull your pole low to the side. You want to whack into them and then get right above them. Well, that's like a nice fish. Oh, look at see he's going back in the pad, but because I've got this short kit on now, you can't get enough elastic to get back in there. Oh, nice fish that is. Come on, look at him, look. What a start. Just keep an eye on that edge because I'm undecided how to feed it now again. Oh. Stop flapping. So we'll do is just hold him up. The camera. Bosh, as they say. What a start. I am absolutely chuffed with that. So I'm just having a little look. What I might do is put my Polaroids on, just so I can see like the clouds of mud coming up. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to nip to the van, get my glasses, and that'll give you a better idea of what's happening down there. Oh no, that was a bit of fun. So I'm going to feed it exactly the same, quite a bit more particle now, meat and corn, and then just almost enough ground bait just to hold it together. But like the way I feed that then, you don't really want to be doing that with your nice expensive 16-metre pole. So that's where just having one of these, you know, rough and ready 8-metre poles in your bag that are going to take an absolute boatload of punishment. That's where they come into play. That was on a single grain, that one. So we'll go single grain again, I think. I don't see why not. Right then. Let's get back in there. What you want to do as well, just make sure your joints are on nice and tight. Let's see if there's another one. I haven't seen any signs of normally they give themselves away in the shallow water, but I think there's a little fish there then. Cool. Oh no, that's a unit. That is a serious unit, that one. Come from those pads. Out of those pads, guy. Oh, that was nice then. I was just about to come back and give him another big, like a big refeed, sort of 2 pots, because I felt as if they'd stop coming in. But obviously, this one was just mooching under the radar. And he's still trying to get in there. But I'm not having any of it. Oh, that is an absolute dandy bit of fishing. Honestly, you would have sworn there wasn't one in there then. That's why I popped my glasses back on. I thought I can't see anything dusting up there. But this fish, he was in there all right. Come out to them. Away from them pads, you. Ooh. Let me jump then. Oh, these top kits are so good with it. These have got like a 7mm bow on them. So it just allows this red hydro, which is quite thick elastic. You know, it allows the elastic to work for the first bit, and then, like you can see there, it's nice and powerful now. Absolutely perfect for this kind of fishing. But I think what I am going to do is, I am going to give them 2 big pots and try and get them back in there like they were at the start, because it feels like they've stopped sort of coming in there now, because when you hook one, like you've seen there, it just absolutely erupts. Oh yeah, nice. He is shifting some water, as they say. Look at him, look. Go on, boy. There isn't much better than catching big units down the edge, I tell you. In shallow water, like, amazing bit of fishing. I absolutely love it. You see all the stuff he's ripped up, all the stems are floating on the surface now where he's smashed through them pads. And these fish in this lake, because it's a spring-fed lake, they just absolutely fight till the bitter end. You're not going back in there, but you're staying here with me. Come on, boy. Like, even on this kind of gear, like, you just can't, there's no way you can just rag them in. They're just absolute lunatics. Look at him, look. Come on, boy. Where's he going now? Look at that. Just will not give up. There we go. There's me calling it a big old mirror. Oh, there's a big old common. Absolute bruiser. Damn, that's a nice bit of fishing. Look at that, look. Oh. Pop it in my pot. One in the keep net. I'm going to put 2 or 3 in the keep net so we can have a nice little catch shot at the end, I think. Right. Right, so time for a refeed. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give him a 200ml pot this time. Just feel like I want to try and get a few back in there because there's so much commotion when you hook one. So I want to give him a reason to be in there. Same again, just out off the bank there. There we go. And what I'm going to do, in the back of my pole, what I've just got like a little dolly butt. This will go in the 6 and the 8 metre sections. So I'm going to put it in the back of the 6. Even though I'm only fishing just to the end of the section, I feel like I can get a bit more purchase on them when they're trying to get out to these pads, so I can sort of get up a little bit higher on them, and because I'm like fishing right to the end of my section, just have that in the joint, just a bit more protection. So that's the next change. Just check my rig. Already I can see I've got that little bit of white pole tape there, because you're going to have your float moving a hell of a lot when they're swimming through these pads. Like, that's probably moved up an inch, and without that little bit of pole tape on there, you'd never know. Just all my shots are still on. That's why I use micro cubes. Like, if you fish shots in amongst all these pads here, you get a lot ping off, but with these micro cubes, they do slide, which is one thing I'm not fussed on them with, but they're back in the edge. But I do want them sliding in here. I don't want to be biting shots on all the time. I can just simply slide my bulk back down to my loop-to-loop for this, which is perfect. They're back in there, just seen a couple tailing up there. So I'm going to go single grain again. That seems to be the harm at the minute. Just that nice single grain of corn. And that long lash is nice. I can just, what's happened there? There you are. So I can just pull my pole out of the way. That's just on the bank. So the float isn't able now, because it's on a line between my back shot and the pole tips on the bank. It can't sort of pull out into the lake. It's just pinned right there where I want it. There's one right in amongst that bait now. That float should be rocketing under there, really. They definitely respond to this ground bait. They absolutely love it. Oh. One of the little residents. him nice and high. Oh, look at him, look. Thinks he's a dolphin. One of the smaller ones. It was a funny old bite that was. It was just like a slow liner, but I just gently lifted on it when he was on. Let's give him a bit more again. I'm just going to keep feeding him now because they're coming straight to that bait. And the more competition I can get in there, hopefully the easier they'll be to catch. Oh, big boy. Come from those lilies, boy. Oh, he's in there. So what I'm going to do, because he's wrapped himself round and round them, I'm just going to get above him. Anyway, he's worked out now. He was like wrapped around a couple of stems there. We sneak him out on the inside. God, I love that. I absolutely love that. Get off. That is a dandy bit of fishing, that, isn't it? It's another big old bruiser. Again, it felt as if there wasn't like loads in there that time again. But the bite is just so clean. Oh yeah, look at that. I've got a lily pad wrapped around my float, yeah? Proper bit of fishing this is. Oh yeah, go on, buddy. You want to go, buddy? I'll go with you. Ooh. You want to bounce by? I'll bounce. Oh, I'll bounce by. Oh, look at that thing. Look at that. Common. Absolute lunatic commons. Come on, you. You bite. Ooh, get in that pan. Oh, yeah. Oh. You know, when their tails are sticking out of a 500 size net, you know they're the big boys. Look at him. Oh. That is absolute money. And I'm going to pot that again straight away. Plenty of meat in there again. A few bits of corn. Give him another 200 mil. This ground bait is absolutely wicked for this edge. She is. Let's see if we can get one more. And then we'll think we'll wrap it up then. There we go. Out to the pads you come, boy. I think that's one of the littler ones again. Come on, boy. So I think I'm going to wrap it up on this fish. We've had a brilliant couple of hours. We've had some absolute brutes. And one thing is for sure, this gear has definitely stood up to the test. There we go, a nice fish to finish on. Oh, he's not that small actually. I was a little bit blasé with him. So, come on. Keep still, I'm trying to get it out of you. There we go. Slip him back. So I think that just goes to show, if you get your kit dead right, you don't have to be afraid about targeting big carp like this in the snags. So I'm going to quickly slip this one back and I'll catch up with you on the next video.